That's a little low. There we go. Man, I cannot get this phone adjusted today. There we go. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Saturday Staining. Just wiping off all this stuff and I'll get to it. Sorry for being a little late this morning. Had a lot of stuff to get done. All right. Just gotta wipe the sawdust off all this stuff. Yeah, a lot of stuff I gotta stain out. Oh, let's try not to break the window in my shop, huh? All right. Got a Monkey King cudgel, some Ninja Toe bouquet. I got some Viking wasters somewhere around here. Oh yeah, the Viking wasters are going to the mineral oil, not the tongue oil, so those are over there. Might show that part if I can figure out how to get the camera turned around. Howdy, Jay. Hey, what's going on, Sally? Welcome back. Welcome to Saturday Staining. Oh. I have got so much stuff to get tongue oiled and stained this morning, or this afternoon. It's afternoon now. Good gracious. All right. Because this is my last weekend before Black Friday, and the holiday madness all starts this next week for my shop, and I'll probably be moving non-stop until I leave for Christmas. All right. Hey, Saravanan, how you doing? Where am I from? I'm in the U.S. in Florida. I am on the Gulf Coast of Florida. Probably help if I put it on correctly. Had to break open a new box of gloves. Finally, these new ones are black. Kind of like it. Yeah, I figured with the name there that you were from India. Where are you at? You in the south or the north there, Saravanan? I've been to the northern part of India, never been to the southern part. I was in the Punjab very briefly once upon a time. All right, we're gonna start off. I got these Purple Heart palm sticks. You're in the south? Never been to the south. In India. Been to the south in the US quite a bit, but never in India. All right. Yeah, I went to India very briefly once for a trip in my late teens to go to the Amritsar temple in Punjab with some Sikh friends of mine. I was practicing Gatka back in the day. That's the sword form they use up there in Punjab. It's pretty cool stuff. I am right now, Cheetah. I am making. These are called pocket Uara. They're also called palm sticks. These particular ones are made from Purple Heart. These are used as a augmentation of your fist. There's a cord that goes in the holes here, and your fingers go through there, and you've got basically a fist pack and a nice little thing for hammer strikes and inside strikes. Very good for smacking a person in the temple, making them rethink their life choices. Am I a bachelor? No, I am not. I am not a bachelor. No. Nope. Be right back. Nope, not a bachelor. Too old to be a bachelor, man. I'm 48 years old. First normal live. Is that right, Material Box? This is Warrior Wood and Props. I run a shop where I make practice martial arts weapons, class play props, and other kinds of assorted weird shit. I go live every Saturday while I stain up everything and oil up everything that I've made on Saturday. Then Sunday mornings I go live for Sunday finishing work, where I cord up all the Uara and cord wrap the handles on my stuff and all that kind of final touches stuff. You get to see the finished projects on my Sunday live. All right, let me go stick this in the drying room. Be right back. All right, so that was Purple Heart, so I got to get a new rag because these colored woods will stain the other woods if I don't watch it. I'm working from Florida there, Sravanad. I'm on the Gulf Coast of Florida in the southern part. I don't usually say exactly where on lives. I'd rather not do that. Buchetta, huh? Is that Busetta or Buchetta? I don't know it. Is it what is it made from? Is that it? That sounds cool. I'm always down to find out about new weapons, because I make a lot of them, especially if they're made out of wood. In fact, what I'm getting ready to do next, this is actually a Maori style of wood dagger. It's not a practice weapon. This is an actual weapon. It's a replica of a Maori design. I made this from Kummeru wood. Kummeru wood is insanely strong. Has a Jenka hardness of between 3,200 and 3,700 pound force. Probably one of the strongest woods you could ever ask for. Makes really good stabbing weapons. Am I a warrior? I don't know. I don't know if I'm a warrior or not these days. I think I was once upon a time. These days, I don't know if I can fight my way out of a wet paper bag. But I try to keep my skills up when I can. I think I still have a warrior mindset. But the mind is willing, but the body's getting old, my friend. These days I'm a little long in the tooth. I'd rather talk my way out of stuff than fight my way out of stuff these days. Be right back. Whew. All right, I got these Tenarashi Tessen for Tessen Jutsu and Koppo Jutsu. I love making these. Material Box, yeah, this is, I I have 3 jobs. This is the one I like the most. Where is my family? They're at home. My family is at home right now. I get up at 5:15 in the morning on Saturdays. My family does not get up that early. I should say I get up at 5:15 every morning. When you have 3 jobs, I work in home renovations as my day job during the week. I'm also an author. I write books for Penguin Random House on mythology. I have a master's degree in mythology. Worst financial decision I ever made, but I get to write books with it every now and then. So, and then my 3rd job is this, running this shop. This is a Tenarashi testing. This one's from White Ash. These are meant to resemble folded war fans. Back in the day, samurai would use their iron war fans as a tertiary weapon. These days, people who study Tessin Jutsu and Koppo Jutsu and some traditional forms of Japanese Jiu-Jitsu, they still use these Tenarashi. Tenarashi just means practice stick. When they practice that martial art. Hey, Dinesh, I appreciate the questions, man, but I don't really like to talk about my family online. That's their information. I can tell you, I don't have many members of my family. There aren't many of them. There aren't many of us. We are a small group. Oh, Cayman, yes, I can make a baseball bat. Oh, Cayman, my friend, I make custom baseball bats. I make custom battle bats. Like zombie apocalypse style battle bats. I make barbed wire bats. I make nail bats, machete bats, axe bats, you name it. I make it. That is my favorite thing in the world to make, Cayman, is our custom baseball bats. I've made all kinds of weird freaking baseball bats over the years, and it's kind of what my shop is known for. I've made quite a few bats for people on YouTube and Instagram. I made a Balenciaga bat for Refashion Hippie. She does a fashion. She has a fashion channel on YouTube. I did a nail bat for Nugs, the Final Girl. She does like horror movie reviews on her channel. But yeah, I've made bats for quite a few people. Love making bats. Yeah, I can show it's Cayman. Absolutely. Yeah, I remember you guys going. Did I ever play baseball in my childhood? Absolutely I did, and I sucked at it. I was never really good at team sports as a kid. I don't know why that was. Actually, I shouldn't say that. I was never really good at sports that involved balls. I just wasn't. Like baseball, basketball, football. Just never was any good at that. I was good at combat sports. I wasn't great at it, but I was good at it. I did judo, karate, wrestling, fencing. I did just about every combat sport you could think of growing up. I liked doing those, and I was fairly good at it. I wasn't great, but I was good. I moved around a lot as a kid, and so because I moved around so much, I went to 13 schools in 12 years. So because I moved around so much, martial arts was the one thing that was always, no matter where we moved, there was always a martial arts school. And the only problem was that a lot of times I would have to change martial arts as we went from one town to the next because I was kind of limited to whatever was offered. So I studied karate just about everywhere, but I mostly Shotokan. But I also studied judo, taekwondo, hapkido, jiu-jitsu, did a little bit of sambo for a while. I studied gatka, kalaripayat, European fencing, a little bit of kenjutsu and kendo. Did that very briefly. Kobudo. You know, I just kind of would study whatever was available. So this, by the way, this is a Fijian or Polynesian fish bopper or dispatch stick. It's made out of Hawaiian rosewood. I have a big Polynesian club that I did some test swings on it. Originally, I was going to make it 4 feet long, but I took it out for a test run the other day, and it is way too heavy. Way too long, way too heavy. So I cut a foot off of it. I think that's going to make it easier to work with. I think it's going to make it easier to wield. But then I had a foot of rosewood to work with, so I made a nice little Fijian fish club. All right, let me go put this bad boy up. All right, I think that's all the little stuff. Time for a new towel. Oh, thanks, Dinesh. What time is it here? I think it is about 10 till 1 in the afternoon. Almost 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Red belt in Taekwondo. Nice, material box. Yeah, Taekwondo, I did it for a little bit in my teens. I like it. I didn't dislike it. The one thing that was really different, I came over to Taekwondo from karate, obviously. And in karate, you can punch to the head, you can punch to the chest and all that stuff, and except for in Kyokushin. But in Taekwondo, you can only kick. You can't punch at all. You can only kick. You can punch, but you can't score points with punches. So I thought that was weird. In tournaments. 4 years boxing. Boxing's always good. I also studied a little bit of boxing. I had a really nice guy when I lived in Southern California. When I first moved there as a kid, there was this guy down the street, used to be at Notre Dame on their boxing team, and he was also a Navy boxer. And he taught me some boxing, the basics anyway. Comes in very handy. No matter what martial arts you study, I highly recommend at least learning some boxing, because boxing is good stuff. By the way, this is one of my standard Bokken styles. This particular one, though, is made out of Kumru wood, the same wood that dagger was made out of earlier. As I said, this has a Janka hardness of between 3,200 and 3,700 pound force. I've made one of these. This is the second one of these I've ever made. And they are expensive, but dear God, these things are durable. I impact tested the first one I made. Didn't even get a scratch. But yeah, this is... I call this one the Unbreakable Bokken because Kumru wood is badass. You want a Bokken you'll never have to replace. This is a pretty good one. It's got a 5-year no-break guarantee on it. But to be honest with you, if you bought this and used it with regular use, this thing would probably last you the rest of your life. Has this man done something terrible? Have I done something terrible? To deserve what? I don't know. I don't know what we're talking about. What did I miss? Oh, all the highs? I have, not to my knowledge. I'm sure I've done something terrible, but not to deserve that I think of. All right. Let me put this bad boy in here. Whew, all right. Thanks, Cayman. It's fine. People can call me bearded gay all they want. My masculinity's not that fragile. There are trolls no matter where you go, people. You just kind of got to learn to roll with it. And it's no worries. I think my psyche can handle a couple of trolls. But I appreciate it, Cayman. Hey, what's up, Mitch? Oh, the candy canes are going good, actually. I ran into a little trouble with those candy cane steaks this week because I was trying to tape them up. And I started out using painter's tape, and I could not get it flat on the curved part of the candy canes. So I talked to a buddy of mine that is a painting expert. This guy knows anything and everything. He used to teach classes on using spray paint. And he told me to use electrical tape instead of painter's tape. I don't know why I didn't think of that to begin with. So after this live today, I'm going to tape those up with the electrical tape and give them their first coat. And then they'll probably be done by next weekend. I'm hoping to have them up on the shop in time for Black Friday. But we will see. All right, this is one of my standard red oak Boken. These are more cost effective than the Kummeru wood. But boy, they will last. They're not pretty, but they do the job. I don't steam bend my Boken just because I don't have a steam bender in my shop yet. But all of my Boken come with a no break guarantee. If they break when they shouldn't, I replace them free of charge. You don't have to return the old ones. You just have to send me a picture and tell me how it broke so that I can figure out if it was a mistake I made with the wood grain or if there's something wrong with the design so that I can fix it if there is something wrong with the design. But these straight Boken, they mostly seem to be used by people who do Aikido and ninjutsu or Ninpo. Now let me put this one up. Speaking of ninjutsu or Ninpo, I also have just straight up Ninjato Boken that I am also going to be tongue oiling. Yeah, I'll show you the baseball bats as soon as I'm done. A man is no man without criticism, absolutely. That thing was only one time. That's awesome. Much appreciated, Material Box. How many do I have left? I got 1, 2, 3 more to tongue oil, and I got this one staff I got to stain, and then I'll be done, and we can do show and tell. No worries. I'll go grab a couple bats as soon as I'm done here. These are my Ninjato style Boken. I find the main problem with Ninjato Boken is that they are too thin. A lot of times when you buy a Ninjato Boken, they're like a ½ inch thick on the blade, and they're way too many sharp edges. So mine have a curved blade edge, and they still have the angled tip just so it sticks to the feeling of a Ninjato, but they are far thicker. They're 3/4 inch thick of red oak, and just like all my other ones, they are guaranteed. Can I show everything that I have? Probably not. That's going to take a while, Cayman. I can show a few things, though. That would take all day. If I showed everything I have. I have like I think I have 150 something different items in my shop. So it's a lot of stuff to try to show on one live. You know what? Maybe Black Friday I can do a live stream and just show off the inventory maybe. I don't know. I'm going to be in the shop that day. I'm not sure if I'm working my day job that Friday or not. I will definitely be in the shop though. So if I'm not working, I might do a live stream on the Friday after Thanksgiving. And I can go through all of my inventory. But for right now, I can show off some things, but trying to show off everything I've got's a lot. Hey, what's up, Trainer Turkey? Oh, well, not exactly. My first shop got flooded. The first shop I had was in a different city. It was about 30 minutes away from where I'm at now. And we had a hurricane that flooded that shop. And then I moved from that shop to this shop. And then it was like 2 weeks later, we had another hurricane that blew out the windows in this shop. So I had to get all the windows replaced. Luckily, it didn't flood. It just kind of turned the inside of my shop into a cyclone. So I had to clean up all the stuff because shit was just everywhere, and it shredded my blinds and blew out the window. But you know, you got to pick yourself back up when that kind of stuff happens. So I keep doing it. All right, one more bokken. This is just my Shoto bokken. Just a short sword bokken. I also sell Daisho sets, which have the Daito long bokken. They have a Shoto short bokken, and they come with a Tanto as well. Do I have a daughter? I have a son and a daughter, yes. My daughter's getting married in January. So I'm going to be going to her wedding. That'll be in Texas. That's kind of where I'm from. Not really from anywhere. I moved around so much as a kid. But I spent a good chunk of my life in Texas, so I kind of consider Texas home. Of course, I've been in Florida for about 14 years now. So, starting to wonder if Florida's now my home or not. I don't know. I don't plan on dying here. All right, woot woot. That is it for the tung oil. Now I just got to stain this Monkey King cudgel. Let me take these gloves off and switch over. I got to switch over from the tung oil to the stain. Thanks, Gage. Or is that KG? Gagey. There we go. What am I making now, Cheetah? I got, so I make Monkey King Wukong cudgels in my shop, long stabs, with studs and a center cord of, a center wrap of paracord. Funny story, I started making those about 3 years ago, and they weren't a big seller for a while, and then all of a sudden, dude, they were selling out like crazy, and I couldn't figure out why. And I found out there was a game that came out called Black Myth Wukong, and so people were buying Monkey King stuff like left and right, and they went from being something I just kind of made for fun that sold every now and then to something that sells pretty regularly, and I sold one last night, so now I gotta make another one. So this is the base of the staff. It's been shaped out and sanded, so I stain it. Then tomorrow it'll get studs put into the ends. It'll get 2 rows of studs on both sides. And then it'll get a center cord wrap of gold paracord. They look pretty good when they're done. And then I kind of beat it up a little bit just to make it look used. Right, Gagey? No one's planning on dying anywhere, right? I guess what I really mean is I just don't want to be an old person here. Being an old person in Florida, I feel like that's no fun. Although, don't tell the old people here in Florida that, because there's so many of them here. They're everywhere. I feel like Florida has almost become like America's retirement home. There's so many old people, especially right now, because we're in what we call down here snowbird season, where all the old people from up north come down here to spend the cold months in Florida. Florida is God's waiting room, exactly. Okay, but my son is in his teens, my daughter's in her 20s. I try not to give specifics about my family online, because that is their business if they want to tell people that stuff. My son is in his teens and my daughter's in her 20s. Gotta stir your stain. Always remember to stir your stain. It separates. Smart man. Thank you. How much do I get paid, Cayman? It depends on what job we're talking about. For what I do right now in my shop, it depends on how much stuff I sell. Some months I sell a few $1,000s worth of stuff. Some months I sell a few $100s worth of stuff. It kind of depends. My day job, I do all right. For books, when I write a book, I usually make anywhere from like 2 to 10 grand for one book, and then plus royalties and stuff. But you know, I only do that like once or twice a year. That's why I have 3 jobs, because the jobs I like don't really pay the bills. Although I also like my day job. Honestly, I do. My working in home renovations is nice. I get to work with paint. I don't have to sit behind a desk all day. I started doing that about 3 months ago. I used to be a marketing copywriter until probably about 3 months ago. I got laid off because I was replaced by the AI that I helped train. And that's pretty much what they're doing with all the marketing copywriters these days. I keep getting calls from recruiters wanting me to, with companies that want to hire me to train their AIs, which I'm not going to do because I don't really feel like training the thing that they're going to use to replace us. Old folks are not something new in Florida. No. They are not something new in Florida. Old folks in Florida are not new. Although I will say, they're coming earlier and earlier lately. Normally, it used to be the old people, like for the snowbird season, didn't show up until like after Christmas. These days, they're showing up in like September. I don't know why, but they've started showing up earlier and earlier every year, and this year the snowbirds started showing up in September. Normally, back in the day, we didn't see them until like Christmas time, like right after Christmas in January. They'd all show up, and they'd all leave in April. These days, they show up in September. They're usually here, then they go home for Christmas, and then they come back. And they're here until April. And no, old people are not something new in Florida. Nothing new at all. Florida has long been a hub of the elderly. You get that blended in. And tomorrow this will get studs and a cord wrap in the morning when I do my Sunday finishing work live tomorrow morning. Which, by the way, I will be live tomorrow morning at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Time, U.S. If you're awake at that ungodly hour, you can come watch me finish all this stuff. All right. I think that's good to go. Let me put this up. Give me 1 sec. All right. I think some of you guys were wanting to do some show and tell, right? What do you guys want to see? I know we got one vote for baseball bats. What time do I end the live tomorrow? Cayman, I go until I'm finished. Usually it's about 2 hours. Sometimes it's 3. Depends. Tomorrow will probably be about 2 hours. So I usually go from like 7:30 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. Sometimes I go as late as 10:30 a.m. It kind of depends on how much stuff I've got to do. Tomorrow I've got that Monkey King Cudgel to wrap. I've got the Yawara to cord up. I've got at least one dagger I've got to cord wrap. I've got to put loops in the Tenarashi and the fish bopper. And I haven't decided if I'm going to cord wrap the handles on those Ninja Toe or not. I thought about giving them like a black jute cord handle, but I don't know. Thinking it over. With Boken, it's hard to tell. Some people want cord wraps, some people don't. So most of the time I don't put cord wraps on my Boken, but we'll see. Be right back. Let me go put this away. And then I've got, actually, hang on 1 second. Let me wipe my hands off here. I've got to do one other thing, which I forgot about. I've got Viking wasters back there. Show the weird stuff, baseball bats. The candy canes, I can show you the what they look like right now. They're not finished yet, but I can show you the candy canes. I can bring a baseball bat. Show the weird stuff. Which weird stuff? I have so much weird stuff. That's like half the stuff in my shop. Oh, no worries, Caveman. you can, even when my lives are over, I save them and make them public, so you can watch them afterwards if you want to. I know that's not nearly as fun because you can't really interact, but they'll still be up. All right, hold up 1 second, guys. Let me put this away. So these are my Viking wasters. These are used by guys in Buhurt and Armored Combat. Sometimes people in SCA use them, and HEMA. They're just basically a European boken. They called them wasters. They're used for Armored Combat for the most part. Got a nice little pommel. It's red oak. But this is my standard one. I have a deluxe version that I tongue oil. The standard ones, I just do a mineral oil soak. For these, my Buhurt guys love these. They tend to use them. Armored Combat guys. Buhurt is Armored Combat, by the way, if you don't know. They tend to use these because their competition weapons are expensive. So some of them will use my wasters during combat practice in armor because my wasters last forever and they're guaranteed. Hey, what's up, Cyborg? Hunter, how you doing? What's up, Boy Tamang? Can I be on at 7 tonight? No, I can't. I have to be somewhere at 7 tonight, so I won't be on at 7 tonight. But I will be on at 7:30 a.m. tomorrow Eastern Time for Sunday finishing work. So these I've got to give it a mineral oil soak. So give me 1 second. Let me see if I can figure out how to get you guys turned around for me. I gotta grab a piece of cardboard. Give me 1 second here. Oh. Well, that's not good. Well, never mind. I'll do that after the live because apparently my piece of cardboard that I usually use is missing. So, oh well. All right, guys. Let me go grab some of my stuff to show off. I'll be right back. So, baseball bat, candy canes, and weird stuff. Got you. Give me 1 minute. All right, woot. Put that down. So these are the candy cane steaks. They've got their white on them. They're going to get taped up later today, and during the week, this week, I will give them their red stripes, and then they're going to get a green handle wrap, just like right here, just enough to have a slight handle wrap. And then you got Santa Slayer vampire steaks. Hey, what's up? But yeah, these are going to be fun. Let me put these where they're not going to get messed up. Hang on. And then someone was wanting to see, like, this is what I mean when I say I make custom baseball bats. This is one of the only ones I still have in stock right now. This was a proof of concept for a custom order. The guy wanted the axe bat from a video game called Days Gone, which uses a table saw blade inside of a bat. His bat didn't have this paint job. His bat was just regular unstained wood that had been distressed and given like a tape handle. He wanted it to look weathered and old. But I made this as a proof of concept to make sure it would work. So yeah, there's I call this one the no-brainer. It is currently available on my shop. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. I cut the saw blade so that the teeth face down on both sides. So no matter which way you're swinging, your teeth are always moving in the direction of the swing. Well, yeah, this is yeah, that's usually people's reaction, Cyborg. But yeah, I've made all kinds of bats. I've made them with spikes. I made a machete bat last year, which was pretty cool. The guy wanted a blade embedded in a machete, or machete embedded in a machete blade embedded in a bat. with spikes all around it. And so I made that last year. Made nail bats, barbed wire bats. I've made tons of Lucille's. A lot of times people ask me for like different themed Lucille bats. Like I did a Hello Kitty Negan bat. I did a Nightmare on Elm Street Freddy Krueger themed Negan bat. I've done pink bats with barbed wire. I've done Barbie. I did a Barbie bat once with spikes. Fight the Patriarchy bat when the Barbie movie came out. I've got a Deadpool themed and a Wolverine themed one that is on the shop right now. Unfortunately, I don't have those in my inventory room. Those are over at the house because I had them at a craft fair last week and I haven't brought them back yet. But I got all kinds. Can I show you the weird stuff? All right, weird stuff it is. Give me 1 minute. Let me see what I've got that's weird. I'll be right back. All right, people. I just grabbed a few weird things for right now. If I can figure out how to set this down without destroying it. All right, so I call this the vampire bat. I've started making these as a joke a few years ago, and people bought them, so I kept making them. It is a vampire stake baseball bat, basically. So you can hit the vampire, and then you can stake the vampire. I actually had a guy, when I first started making these, that bought it, and he did a Halloween costume as like a New York Yankee vampire hunter. He had like the whole outfit with like blood spatter on it, and this was the prop he used. Plus, I am a sucker for puns because I was an English major in college, so I love the fact that I make something called a vampire bat. Speaking of bats, this is the poop emoji bat. I have no idea why I made this. I bought some stickers for a custom order, and for whatever reason, the people that sold me the stickers put a bunch of poop emoji stickers for free in my order. And so I had a bunch of poop emoji stickers, so I was like, you know what? Poop emoji bat it is. So yeah. But yeah. So I have and yes, I actually do have one scratch and sniff sticker on the poop emoji bat. So if you want to smell poop, you can actually scratch and sniff the sticker. I have no idea why I made this. I just had the stickers and I was like, screw it. It's got a brown paracord handle. This is actually available on my shop. No one's ever even considered buying it. I don't know. I may be stuck with this poop emoji bat forever. And then you got this. These are some of my more insane vampire hunter stuff. I call this one the Reaper. It is a staked hammer staff. It's got a staked tip spear. It's got a staked hammerhead. And it looks like a scythe, which is why I call it the Reaper. It's got a black paracord handle. So you can basically slam this down into a vampire's chest or sideways into a vampire's chest. I took the inspiration for this from an anime called Alita Battle Angel. They have a guy in there that he's got this hammer that has like a rocket on the back. And then when he swings it, the rocket kicks in to like give it thrust. It is pretty cool. Let's see if I can lay this down without it falling over. There we go. And then this one's a similar one. I call this one the Sagging Cross. Oh, thanks, Zero Toxic. I appreciate that. Bad shit. Thanks, the 70s chick. Yeah, the poop emoji bat is kind of hilarious. So I call this one the Sagging Cross. Similar concept. This is a piece of Southern Live Oak that I got from one of the hurricanes. It has kind of a sagging look to it, so I called it the Sagging Cross. But if you want a double-sided one, this one has a cotton cord wrap handle. But it also has a speared tip. It's slightly longer than the other one. But yeah, so that's more weird stuff I made just because. Can I show more stuff that I usually show on live? Sure. You know what, guys? Let's do this. Hang on. We're going on a field trip, people. This is gonna be easier than me just walking back and forth from my room here. So hang on one second. This is my inventory room. Please excuse the mess. I got a trench club over my desk just in case. That's not for sale. That's just for me. This is an example of what the Monkey King cudgel looks like when it is finished with the gold handle and the gold studs. That's one that's been ordered. That one's going to get shipped out on Monday to the customer. Let's see. We've got Pahoa daggers made from Kamaru wood. These are Polynesian. It's a Polynesian design. Sorry, the lighting here is not great. It's almost difficult for me to decide what to show you guys because as you can see, like I have a shit ton of things in here. I have Yawara. I've got stabs, walking sticks, and stuff up here. I've got every Yawara and vampire stake you could possibly think of on these two shelves. Down here, I've got my pretty swords. This is one of my favorites. I made this one last week. This is called a Rudis. It is a trophy sword, not meant for practice. This is Purple Heart wood. It's wet sanded up to 2000 grit. Has an absolutely mirror perfect glass smooth surface. A lot of times people buy these as gifts for former military, or people use them as trophies in tournaments. Mostly like SCA tournaments, things like that. I also have this two-sided Purple Heart Vampire Hunter sword that is also made from Purple Heart. It's a little dusty right now, probably because I'm still wearing my apron. I shouldn't be wearing this apron in here because I try to keep the dust out of this room. On my wall over here, I got cross stakes hanging up like a lady that with a live, laugh, love sign in her living room. Oh, thank you. Yeah, the Purple Heart. Yeah, I love that thing. That is great. These are replicas of a stake from a 19th century vampire hunter kit. And, but yeah, so I hang them up on the wall because that's the easy thing to do. Got a prop kukri knife right here. A couple tire thumpers. My assassin stilettos. These are fun. If I can get one down without knocking that over. These are my Hassanson assassin stilettos. Assassins would use wooden stabbing implements because they were easier to get rid of. Yeah, purple, red, close enough, whatever. Hey, welcome DJ Puckett from Wyoming. Well, yeah, these are great. This is Kamaru wood, again, crazy Jenka hardness. But yeah, you could shank a mofo with one of these and toss it in a fire when you were done, and very easy to get rid of the... if I can stop from dropping it. Very easy to get rid of the weapon. These days, they're only for entertainment. Please do not unalive anyone with my stuff, okay? I don't want to end up on the news that way. Oh, thanks, KG. Dracula kills 3000. I mean, I've got, like, seriously, you guys, like, I have more stakes here than I even could show you guys. I've got, these are some of my fancier ones. These are hickory daggers. They've got a Jew cord handle. They're a little distressed. Those are fun. I also have a nicer version that's not distressed or stained. But these are the fancier ones. I also have basic stakes. You know, I have, these are replicas of a stake from Buffy the Vampire Slayer that was made out of a ruler. I have stake and hammer sets. These are also Buffy the Vampire Slayer replicas from the movie and from the TV show, where she used chair legs a lot for her Steaks. So I have chair leg steaks with cotton cord wraps on them. Oh yeah. Yeah, huge disclaimer indeed. Oh, I'm sure, dude. Like my son absolutely loves my shop. Like he is a huge fan of my shop. He has a lot of stuff from my shop that I have gifted him over the years because he loves this stuff. Oh my god, I look a mess. Oh well, Zero Toxic. All this stuff's available on eBay. Links in my bio. I also, as I said, I also make costume props. These are actually on auction right now for a very low price on eBay. These are all rubber and plastic, but these are based on the 1989 Raphael Sai from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie. But yeah, they look real on camera. They have a slight warp in them, which is why they're on eBay at a discounted price. And one of them has a slight void in it. That was the last set that I had from that injection mold that I did, and I'm getting ready to get some more. So hopefully the next set does not have warps in it. To get some for free, I don't know, man. I don't normally do freebies. I can't really afford to do freebies. Well, yeah, I have all kinds of shit in here, you guys. I got like all my Tessin, Tenarashi Tessin. I've got them in Padauk, Zebra Wood, Gray Elm, Purple Heart. I'm not sure what that is. White Ash, and that is Canary Wood. But yeah, I've got a bunch of stuff in here. Do I work with metal often? No, I don't. I actually have a fabricator that I work with if I need metal. I have a guy that I go to for that. I can cut metal. I can't really forge it. So I have a guy that I go to if I need something custom made. But, you know, like if it's something that's prefab that I just need to alter, I can do that myself for the most part, you know, with an angle grinder or my Dremel tool. But that's about it. I try to stay away from metal unless it's, you know, something like the Axe Bat. Like that's super easy. What do I do with my glasses? Oh, yeah, I also have these. Sorry, it's really hard to do this with this. I also have a stake and hammer set that works. A Purple Heart bat with daggers on both sides. That would be sick. The hard part would be getting a piece of Purple Heart big enough to make a bat out of. Purple Heart is not cheap. And it's very hard to find it in thick pieces. And places that sell it in pieces that are thick enough for a bat, they charge an arm and a leg. So I don't know. That would be tough to do. It'd be cool as hell though. Yeah, it would probably be like a $1,000 bat, but it would look cool as shit for sure. I put you guys back on my stand here. What about cherry wood? I've never really worked with cherry wood. I have canary wood. I'm starting to work with some newer stuff just to see. You know, I've been experimenting with some new stuff like canary wood, butternut, coffee nut, okome. I've been making my prop stuff out of okome recently. I made a prop sword last week out of okome that sold immediately. I put that on the shop last weekend and it sold on like Tuesday. So you like cherry wood? Hey, what's up, Gabex? Yeah, cherry wood's not bad. It's not bad stuff. I work with rosewood, ipe, hickory, kumaru, ironwood, canary wood, purple heart, zebra wood, padauk, oak, obviously, white ash. I work with all different kinds of wood. I'm the first African albino you've ever seen? That's weird. I didn't know I was African. Yeah, I've actually got one thing that's coffee nut. Let me go grab that. I'll be right back. Let me put this up. I got one thing out of coffee nut that I made recently I can show you guys. This is actually based on an Apache design style of fighting dagger that they made out of wood. This is actually a functional fighting dagger. It will stabby. Please don't stab anyone with it though. I don't want to go to jail. But it's got a bladed edge. But this is coffee nut. Oh God, yeah, rosewood is tough. I made a fish bopper out of rosewood today. And yeah, it is a bitch to work and it is a bitch to sand. It's like working with rock. It's very hard stuff. It's also a little brittle though, so like its hardness is high, but it's great for clubs. I wouldn't make stuff like this out of it, but for clubs it's amazing. Oh, from Canada. What's up, Cyborg? Thank you for joining us from Canada. But yeah, rosewood is really hard to work with, and that particular one is Hawaiian rosewood, which is crazy. Matter of fact, I'll show you guys. Hang on one sec. I'll show you guys. This is another project that's still in progress. This originally was going to be 4 feet long. It's going to be a Polynesian war club. I've got to shape out this interior part a little more and get the handle shaped out a bit. I was hoping to get this done by Black Friday. That is not going to happen. I'm hoping to get this done next weekend. I took it out for a test swing, a few test swings this week when it was 4 feet long. It was just way too heavy. It just wasn't practical. So I need to shave this part in a little bit more. I need to take a little bit of weight off the end. It's just slightly top heavy. I need to shape out the handle, round this piece off, give it a wrap. I need to put, I've got tiger shark teeth that are going to go in this flat place here, and they're going to go along here. And then hopefully it'll be done. Thank you. Yeah, that's why I really like the coffee nut. The grain really pops on it really nicely. I don't make metal knives. I make wooden knives. I make primitive daggers. Yeah, go ahead. Nobody knows. What's your question? I have Viking designs. Yes, I do. I have a Scottish dirk that I do. Not exactly Viking, but I also do Viking wasters. I showed those earlier. I'm not sure. Maybe you weren't here, 70s chick. I used to do a sax style of knife, like the Viking sax style, but they just didn't really sell very often. So that's why I kind of stopped making them. I made like 6 of them. It took like 3 years for me to sell all of them, so I don't really make them that often. But these are my Viking sword wasters, that practice swords that people use. I don't work in metals. Am I part Viking or just Newark gay? I mean, I'm Irish, Scottish, English, Dutch, and German. So definitely some Viking in there somewhere. But no, not Newark gay. That's hilarious. I know nothing about Scotland. I know a little bit about Scotland. Big fan of medieval history. So, like, I love the fact that the northern tip of Scotland's called Sutherland, which I find hilarious because Sutherland means the Southland. That's because the Vikings named it Sutherland, because to them, the northern tip of Scotland was the Southland. Oh yeah, my son has so many wooden swords that I've made. So many Zero Toxic. Like, probably once a year he asks me for something different. Like one year he wanted Boken, the next year he wanted Viking swords. I've made him. He wanted a Gladius waster one year. I made him a Gladius waster. I think this year he's asking for a staff, so we'll see. I'll probably make him a staff this year. Oh, thanks, Cornhammer. Appreciate that. Thanks for the engagement, my guy. Thanks for helping me out there, bro. I can tell you truly care about me. Yeah, I know, right? That's the thing. Like, if when I was growing up, I wish I had a dad that made this kind of stuff, because I would have been hitting him up for stuff all the time. So yeah, my son was always hitting me up for things, which I'm fine with. I love making him stuff. Do I put patterns on? I don't know what you mean by patterns on my work. I'm not quite sure what that means. Patterns, you mean? It depends on the piece. Like I've done I had a custom Viking sword that somebody asked for once that I sanded to like 1,000 grit. I don't normally do that with my practice stuff, but it was more of a display piece. And they wanted runes burned into it, so I wood burned runes into the blade. And that was one thing I've done. Like on this Polynesian club, I'll probably do a little bit of engraving on it. I'm not super detailed with that stuff, so like I try to use stencils for the most part because I'm not super good at freehand. But yeah, I do put patterns on stuff. It depends on it. Usually only custom orders though. I find that the more kind of adornment that I put on stuff, the less people seem to like it. Unless it's a custom order. If it's custom order, people are all about the adornments. But other than that, I try to stay away from it. People have opinions, and so on what they like and don't like, and so I try not to. It's kind of like with this stuff. Like my handle wraps, for example, they're friction fit handle wraps. They come off super easy. I don't use adhesive because sometimes people don't like the handle wrap, so they can easily cut this off and replace it with something that they actually want on it. Oh yeah, wood swords are good times. I actually make toy swords as well for kids. I have pine wood swords. Do I make tribal replicas? Yes, I do, John Dow. I do. I make all kinds of tribal replicas. I've made Apache daggers, Pahoa daggers. I've made all kinds of stuff. I make Atasi War Club. Matter of fact, I'll show you guys the Atasi War Club. That's pretty cool. I made that out of American hickory. I make all kinds of stuff. Yeah, if it's a melee weapon and it's made from wood, I can probably make it. Give me one sec, you guys. I'll be right back. Let me go grab that Atasi War Club because it's pretty cool. I forgot to show you guys that earlier. And these will probably be the last couple of things I can do for show and tell today because I got to go home and shower and change because we're supposed to go get pictures taken this afternoon at some point. These are my toy swords. These are just made from pine. That way they're not super strong. Like if you were to hit someone with it, after a couple of hits, it would probably break before it could do any actual damage. But these, I tend to sell these a lot, oddly enough, for school plays where they need a sword. Like for elementary school plays when they need a sword that they know is going to be safe. There's no nails. It's all glue. It's all glue and pine. It's just yellow pine with glue. There's no sharp edges. The point is completely dull. There's nothing that can hurt anybody. This, on the other hand, definitely has sharp edges and it definitely can hurt someone. Any ninja stuff? Yeah, Cyborg. I actually did some Ninja Toe Boken earlier in the live. Unfortunately, I can't touch them now. They're in the tongue oil. How do you call me for custom order? John Dow, you can go, if you go to my bio, there are links. There's 2 ways you can do that. Go to eBay. Go to my eBay store, open one of my listings, and just you can message the seller from any listing on my eBay shop. Or you can go to warriorwoodandprops.com. At the top of the page, you'll see a contact me button for custom orders. Just click on that, send me a message, that'll go to my email. Unfortunately, right now, my main website, warriorwoodandprops.com, is down because Shopify went stupid over the summer, and I cannot get a hold of anybody in support to help me figure out what the hell's wrong with it. So my shop, I'm basically paying for a shop that's useless right now because Shopify sucks. This is a Cherokee Atasi War Club. This is made from American hickory. It is 1 inch thick, and it's tapered on the ends, so you can crack a skull a little better. It's got a flared handle. This is a replica of an Cherokee Atasi War Club. But yeah, you can contact me for custom orders through eBay or through my website, either one. Thanks, Max. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Love the support, bro. Man, there's a lot of trolls today. Good times. Yeah, it does kind of look like a chopping board. I mean, it definitely chops. Anyway, guys, that's about it for me today. I got to get going. But I will be on tomorrow morning at 7:30 a.m. for Sunday finishing work. You guys are all welcome. Even you guys, even the trolls, you guys are welcome to come tomorrow morning, 7:30 a.m. But fractal burning, I did it for a little bit. It's more trouble than it's worth, to be honest with you. But you guys take care. If you're up tomorrow morning at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Time, you're welcome to join me for Sunday finishing work. I'll also be back here next Saturday at 12:30 or 1, somewhere around there, for Saturday staining. But thank you guys for hanging out with me. I really appreciate all the questions. If you like anything you see, like, subscribe, all that jazz. And links to the shop are in my bio. Take care, everybody. Thank you.